Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 22nd edition of the Town of Manlius Intermunicipal Police Committee meeting. The instructions for joining on Zoom are available on the agenda. We're joined by Town Councilor Neshi via remote and everyone else here in the room. I'd like to get started by having Member Paluski lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
liberty and
liberty,
justice.
justice for all.
All right, thank you. The only order of business we have to act upon tonight is actually approval of the minutes from the September 3rd meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review them and have any comments or edits to make?
Review them prior to the meeting, so I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So approved. So it's a light agenda tonight. So for new business, all I wanted to bring to the committee is just a reminder that the town is hosting a budget workshop next week, Wednesday, the 29th at 5:30.
Yes, sir.
Correct, in this room. And if everybody could take a chance to review, if they haven't already, take a look at the proposed department budget for next year. And if you're interested or would like to, I believe it'll also be streamed
Yes, sir.
via the usual format. And hang out with us for the budget workshop next week and provide any input as you deem necessary. But the tentative budget went up on the town website a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't reviewed it, as members here, but by all means, please do dig into it. I didn't have any discussion points about it at this point, other than to just remind folks that it is up for review. And the workshop is next week, and so those members, you're more than welcome to come and attend the workshop. Takes us to old business, which the only thing I had for old business there was, again, we were going to revisit the town facility discussion as a routine matter of this body. From the town's perspective, I know Mr. Neshi is remote, but I will share on behalf of the town, the only real development there is that the town has voted to issue an RFP for a public participation consultant to develop public input on a plan to evaluate facility needs and develop a plan for which route to take moving forward. Full disclosure, I voted no on releasing that RFP now. I thought it was premature because this body should have some input on it first, and as well for other reasons too. But in any event, that's the only development on the town side, that there's an RFP that's been issued. And then
May I ask a
open
question? So what it goes back to, I think, a little bit of confusion on my part about what kind of input is relevant on us, because I look at the chief and I think my village may also look at the chief and the department and think they know best what they need. So when they articulate their budget needs, I'm not sure how to dig in there. Does that make any sense?
on the budget side or on the facility side?
Both. Well, let's leave the facility out of it. Let's just talk about the budget, because that's the hearing. But what I picked up on was the last thing you said was that you felt that this committee needed to provide some input. So how do we do that in a responsible way?
So on the facility thing, I mean, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, kind of. It's again, this body exists solely for the villages to provide input on them on the administration of police services through the town's department now. So my goal is to make sure that that channel is perpetually open.
Okay.
And in a meaningful way.
Okay.
So if the villages don't have specific input, that's fine, but channel will always remain open, I guess is my
Okay.
point.
Thank you.
Sure. Member Chef is absent. Anything on the village side and Manlius, Tom?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, this is a standing open item. Like I said, the town issued an RFP for a planner and a, participation specialist that's going out there. I don't know if there have been any bids received. I'll bring to this committee any updates or information that comes through that activity for sure. But for that's it for
I would say just a couple things. Things, just to report out that I had talked with my mayor one-on-one about our conversation last time. And then brought it to our board for discussion. We had a discussion. I agreed to write up that discussion. Didn't get to it in time for tonight's meeting, but we'll do that because I wanted to go back and review the slides to make sure I capture the nuances of it while I'm in the discussion. So didn't get to that, and I will. And I will consider this also open as more information comes out. And I also wanted to say from the village of Bayville's perspective, I appreciated some advice the chief has given us on a traffic issue. And also that in our village, I don't know how long it's been, but it seems like it's been a sizable amount of time that we have had mobile traffic stations in many places, and I will admit that they are good reminders.
the speed sensors, the
Yeah.
trailers. Yeah.
They are like on Do Good, you know, it's easy to pick up a little speed and even on East Genesee Street. So I find that they're excellent checks, and I don't know if there's been any observable impact on your part, but I appreciate them and I appreciate our villagers and other people passing through having those reminders of what our speed limits are, because we are very much residential, even, and the state road going through is a lot for residential, for primarily residential village, or at least that's how I experience it. So, thank you.
It's great. Yeah, interesting. I know Bobby's not here tonight, but last week's Manoa Village Trustees meeting, a similar sentiment was brought up. So there was some member of the public who was expressing gratitude for having this trailer placed in their neighborhood for a while, and it has had a notable impact on driving. So
And
it works.
Traffic related issues are coming up pretty regularly. We are struggling with our old village streets being quite narrow, and how that creates potential safety issues if the fire department had to go. So we are considering some adjustments on our narrow streets in the historic area of the district in order to deal with that. We've had, it's not like the village hasn't been dealing with this for 100 years, but it's hard to have people having cars on both sides of the street and be able to have anything else go past them, so. I may reach out to you again, chief, for your wisdom.
Anytime. All right, thanks. Thanks, Casey. So that takes us to Chief Department Report.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So just a comment on your statement just previously, Casey. I thank you for acknowledging that. We are very fortunate to have, and we are continuing to build and just respond to the nuances of having a comprehensive traffic education platform, because it really truly is about the education, not just the enforcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and a part and parcel of that is the recognition of behavior. So I wanted to say that I'm glad that you enjoy that technology, because that came out of our town board listening to what we had in front of us, talking about ways in which that we can work cooperatively together to be able to get some new technology that actually could help us do this. So those are the new trailers. Many of the new trailers you're seeing. We have some older trailers out there, but they do not collect the data anymore. Our new ones collect it for us. And they also allow us to put out messaging and a number of other things. So it's very, very helpful.
Mhm.
And we're seeing that as a force multiplier towards, traffic safety.
Yeah.
And it's significant. So I just appreciate the relationship that we have with the town board, our town board members, with the police committee, because that led to us, being able to acquire these things.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just think it's important that folks know that, this is about, just that collaboration that occurs on a regular basis. They don't necessarily see it all develop in front of their eyes here at the board meeting, but there is a significant amount of conversation. My liaison sits right here, so it's a significant amount of conversation that we go through and talk about, how do we look towards being able to deal with one of the top three issues that residents in all three villages and the town say is a concern.
Mhm.
But when you say the word traffic, that is a lot of things,
Mhm.
right? But then we have to take a look at what does traffic really mean? So what are our statistics of crashes? What are our statistics of folks getting hurt and property damage? These are the things in which we have to pursue. How do we pursue, driving those rates down? And a part and parcel is a big education piece, which these work phenomenally at. And I'm also fortunate to have Captain Jeff Slater, coordinate that, and he takes it very seriously, to the point where as captain and division commander, he's out and he's doing enforcement campaigns from the front. So I truly appreciate his effort.
Your social media education is also very valuable, so I just want to put in a plug for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an increase, but there seems to have been alerts about things that you have had to investigate. Some of them are in the village, so it's really good reminders for everyone to not leave valuables in their car. That car got stolen, that, there's vandalism occurring in cars that are unlocked, so those things I think are also good checks for those people who are accessing it through
Great.
social media.
It's great reminders
Yeah.
for folks. And yes, thank you for that. We're lucky to have but we have some talented people behind the scenes that do this. I don't want to name her directly, but she knows who she is, and she does a phenomenal job. And again, one of the many hats that people wear, and we're not specifically trained, for those things. We've got to figure it out and do the best job we can. And I think that what we do is we respond based on the response we get from our public. So thank you. Right now, we have 42 funded for Y25. We have 38 filled. I'm happy to announce that Officer Artur Karilko has successfully completed the field training program. He's going to be publicly sworn in at the board meeting tonight, very quick at 6:30. We just hired police officer Markel Griggs. Markel is a 5-year veteran, originally from the Rome Police Department, and he's a transferred organization. He is on field training, and he just started this week. We also just hired a recruit officer, Grayson Pettit. He is assigned to the Onondaga Regional Police Academy, which started on Monday. So he'll be there roughly just short of 6 months. And then if successful in that phase, then he'll come back to us to complete field training. Officer Mercedes Moore graduated the Oswego Police Academy, is currently assigned to our field training program. It's her first week. I attended her graduation on Friday. We have one special patrol officer in the process of selection, and we have interest from an additional candidate. And so that is underway. And our CSO is moving to that full-time position around November 1st. And that time span was due to, civil service requirements of, following the process and ensuring the integrity of the process. I think you remember that Lieutenant Greg Snyder is at Quantico. He's doing very well, quite well. 3 weeks in, I send him hate mail all the time for all the additional duties that the commanders and I are doing, but we know this is a phenomenal investment in Greg. And Greg is the right person to be there right now. He is, I know he's enjoying it. We've had conversations about just his initial impressions of some of his class load, which is all master's level and insignificant, about the light bulb is going on. And he's going, now I understand why. Now I understand why. And I love that. We have a number of members that are in training classes and programs, and it seems that every year, for whatever reason, summertime is the greatest time in which everybody wants to put on all these things that we need to get our folks certified in order to be able to accomplish some of the mission that we're tasked with. And summertime is our most difficult time. So as summertime rounds out, and we look towards the fall and the winter, we continue to look towards some training opportunities. We have people that are in instructor development, which is critical because we need good instructors and in order to then also be able to teach other specialty topics, they have to have this under their belt. We have folks that are also doing some technology-based training right now. Our worlds center around our phones. We use them as investigative tools. We also have software to be able to utilize that software to be able to gain the evidence we need in phones when we're equipped with warrants and things of that nature. Because if you don't do it yourself, you're going to wait 6 to 12 months to get it from anybody else. So we've had to make inroads, to be able to pursue these things. In service wise, we're doing some defensive tactics instruction. Actually, part of it was today. We've been doing some workplace appropriateness, some law training, some annual less lethal proficiencies that have been going on. We continue to have a number of initiatives in play as the summer winds down. We're in the fall. Traffic enforcement continues to be. If we will continue to pursue that as long as the weather will allow us. We will continue to do that throughout. But once the weather gets to that point, you'll see our trailers come in. They no longer are effective when we have to worry about damage from the snow and a whole number of other things, plowing and stuff. So they'll come in. Our speeds tend to not be as high. They tend to be improper for the weather conditions. So rather than the numbers being high, they tend to be ones in which that just are not appropriate for the roadway conditions. Recently, we participated in a countywide recruitment campaign at Manlius Fire. Thank you. We supported Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month for upstate Golisano. I don't know if you saw that. Our officers wore the gold ribbon pins on their uniforms, and we used it as a discussion point with our public. So many of us are affected in one way or another. And we have members of our own organization that have family members that are struggling. My own goddaughter has leukemia and is at Golisano actually as I speak. So this is something that not only was near and dear to our community's heart, but near and dear to us as an organization. So the PBA made a very nice donation in the name of the police department. And we used it as a discussion point with our community. And what I found interesting was the more that we let people know, the more response we got back from folks that are like, let me tell you about how it's impacted us. Definitely, we were very lucky to have Golisano and those folks that connect there and do that beautiful work. We appreciate that. Recently, we did a school zone enforcement detail, and that was very interesting throughout the town. We go to every single one we enforce, but we'll continue throughout the year. But this one, we spend a lot of time focusing on in this short period of time. We participated in support for the Special Olympics through fundraising, not only at Tully's Restaurant, but Red Robin in Town Center. We participated in the Fayetteville Fest and Manoa Fest with child IDs and car seat installation. We did a week-long Go for the Gold with Special Olympics, where our members met with the public at local coffee establishments in between calls for service. We did some car seat installations at HQ, and we participated in October in that National Coffee with a Cop / Lollipop with a Cop, so the kids had something to do at the Manlius Library, which we also had a police officer reading books to the children. We did some safety presentations for our preschool classes at the Manlius YMCA. Our retail crime task force initiative is in full swing for our busy season. We're going to be doing actually CORE and the organizations that are there have asked us to do a presentation to just continue to educate them. So they're coordinating that right now. We're looking to do a specific program for the core-based businesses on November 12th. And then we're going to look outside and do something for businesses across the town and our village partners to come up with, a presentation that would be something in which we could assist them, because this is we're running into that busy season. We also participated in Trunk or Treat in Wicked Woods with our town rec. Some of the things we're doing coming up is, we've got some presentations on child safety and child daycare areas and we're gonna be doing, the Village of Manlius Trunk or Treat event. Where I wanna make sure, yeah, that's this Saturday, right? That the police department is the two-time reigning champion and winner of that entire event. And this year, I'm not gonna tell you what they're gonna go dressed as, and I'm telling you about any of it, but I think you should go and you should see. Because it might be considered maybe a little jab at people in the public safety business that are just not, police officers. They're not equipped to be police officers, so they choose a different public safety piece. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. So, this is a good one. I think we'll get some chuckles and we'll get some competition going, because I've taken some jabs recently, from folks in this line of work. So we gotta pay them back a little bit. And, but just kidding, we love them. We have such a great collaborative relationship. We continue to try to keep our town and village elected officials aware as appropriate for our townwide information and media releases. I think that, when we talk about what are we gonna talk about on the police committee, let's really break it down to what, our main number one mission. And that's ensuring, that folks are safe, and that they are as crime-free as we possibly can make them, in a community as large as ours. We recently shared an arrest for attempt murder second on the multiple rounds fired on Route 298 over the summer. Our investigators did an outstanding job of piecing together a case from nothing more than a reported shots fired on a state route in the northern border of our town, to a very involved case that was directly an attempt murder that didn't happen. A lot of other people were affected, could have been affected worse. They not only put together a solid, incredibly solid campaign case, but they were able to provide that to the district attorney's office, where they had the confidence to go ahead and press forward with those charges. So I'm just proud of my folks that one of the things that situations may happen, we don't forget. And sometimes, it's hard to understand when we watch shows on TV that, within an hour, this situation is solved. We get lucky sometimes, yeah, we solve them fairly quickly. But some things require a significant amount of collaboration with organizations. They require the use of technology, which we have to wait in line for. They require a lot of just end of business day tough police work, where we're sifting through whatever we're sifting through and discovering what the facts and circumstances are, and that leads us to what the success of a case like this. And that's really what it was. Our CSU unit did a phenomenal job, and that's just one case. And I can tell you, I'll talk a little bit more. It leads me to kind of discuss some of the other current crime in the town. I think you saw about the stolen cars. You saw about a rash of items stolen out of vehicles. So that's where we're telling folks, hey folks, please don't leave your keys in the car. Lock your valuables, lock your stuff up. Don't keep your valuables in the car if you can possibly do it. But to give you kind of the lowdown of what I received from this, so our officers respond, they collect evidence, they knock on doors, they go door to door and look at camera footage, they assemble information. We get video of suspects. We then, are able to have a relationship with Christy Casciano and on the lookout, and she puts that up and does programming on it. And she's just, we all know Christy, so impressive, so loved in this community. But that program has resulted in like 573 arrests on the cases in which that she's featured. When we say arrests, I don't look at it as individuals that we must hold accountable. I look at it as individuals that were victimized, that have some sort of closure at the end of the day, and they understand and maybe have developed some faith that they're just not lost in the shuffle, that they matter. And we can maybe offer them some peace of mind. So in our case, and we just had, not only did our investigators get the information out, get it in the right hands of our crime center, get the information on the items that they could be able to identify. We were able to recover a significant amount of tools from some pawn shops that led us to some suspects, that led us to recovering file one, the stolen car. So we're on the case. We're looking at every opportunity to solve it. We know what we're looking for. We know who we're looking for. We're just developing the cases to stand. So these are important things. You know, when folks close their door at night and it gets dark and they turn the lights out, they go to bed. It matters how they wake up in the morning. That matters. Quality of life starts with the ability to feel safe in your circumstance, regardless of any other consideration. We don't take that lightly. And when we do have situations, because let's face it, 60 square miles, only, you know, overnight, only so many police officers. Where are they? What are they doing? Folks are gonna be able to commit crimes, but when they do, if they're able to get away with it from the onset, we don't just forget about it. We spend the time to develop a case, try wholeheartedly to get folks' property back, get their cars back, get their property back, and pursue those offenders. I think it's an important, it's very important for our community to know that that's also what makes us different. That's something in which that makes us very different in our business. Because quality of life situations, we can talk about, we've had the most violent year that I can recall in the history of our police department. We know that. In the same token, we're not losing sight on the quality of life things that folks decide that when they decide to move somewhere, they go, if we have kids, what about the school district? And how safe is it? Well, there's a direct line to our operations to both of those things. I have 11 folks in schools in any one day, and we take 98-99% of all calls for service and police activity in town. And so, you know, when I have the ability to come to you and tell you about how my members respond to these things, nothing's in a situation in which it is not important. And it's that quality of life focus that I think separates things, and that's what you want from us. And I'm always working with our folks to make sure that our culture reflects on what your expectations are of us. We talk about all the time, we provide service with integrity that exceeds the expectations of our community, and we use our because it's ours, right? But I derive that off of you. So I was just happy to see some of those things, and let's talk a little bit about case closure. When we talk about people being victimized, as I said before, being able to discover the perpetrator, recover the property, find the person that did whatever to whomever, and be able to bring that to a victim is so significant for a victim to utilize that and hopefully move forward past that crime. And for us, for me, our case closure rates on our UCR1, UCR2 crimes that, you know, we keep track of, and I can tell you that I was concerned when I first arrived from looking at that data. First of all, I couldn't find the data, and second of all, when I did find it, it wasn't where we needed to be, and it was not reflective of the talent and capability that we could be able to develop. So now that's what we do. We focus our training, we focus our purpose, we focus our thoughtful mission on having successful case closures based on solid cases that will gain conviction. The partnering with our prosecutor's office and all of the other collaborative partners that we have. And we are just our second quarter UCR 1s and 2s that we're out of. I'll be looking at the third quarter, it'll be processed soon, but our second quarter, which is some of our busiest season, UCR 1s and 2s, we were above 50%. That's in a lot better place than where we were a couple years ago. It will not stay, this will move, right? But we are progressing. I'm seeing the progression. We talk about it, we train it, we discuss it culture-wise. And closure rates are so important because it is my ability to demonstrate to you the success of an organization of where your money goes. And we talk about budget. I'm not afraid to get into that discussion at any time to show what we provide, the manner in which we provide it, because those two things are critical in a police organization. The manner in which we police. So yeah, we've been very thankful. I've been very appreciative of our members, very thankful for the community support, because when we have these, we turn to our community and we say, help us. And guess what? They do. It's outstanding. I had a conversation today with one of our newer members and I said, tell me a little bit about what you see differently here. And he goes, I love the community. That's the first thing he said. And I gave him an opportunity to say he really liked me. He didn't say that. But he said, I love the community. It's a great community. They want to connect with me, want to talk to me. They want to work through problems with me. And it creates an atmosphere in which that I want to do whatever's necessary to be able to help them. It's important when we talk about also recruitment and what we do, because I send people into harm's way every day. I don't take that lightly. Harm's way. So when they feel that when they're sent into harm's way, that it's worth it, when they feel the support, that makes a difference. Makes a difference. So, all right, what do you got for me?
I want that whole segment to be on, to be out there, because people don't get to hear from you, and it's so important the way you connected the dots and show us how we get to be the community that we love and that we feel very safe in. And, I think we all know that our town very much appreciates it. They don't get to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's out there. They can watch it.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
Say, I'm gonna have to do something, say, people need to listen to you, because it really makes sense how you put it all together, and it gives great hope for the future too, the way you're building a foundation.
It's because that's what our community wants.
Yep.
It's interesting because we're in this, your neighborhood was hit, these, the vehicle break-ins and stuff like that. I mean, I can think back to probably 15 years ago now. In when I was living in the village of Manlius, a similar thing. There was a rash of things, and the department processed my car and everything in it, in pursuit of solving this wave that had gone through. And I thought, can't believe there's this much attention being paid to the junk in my car, but just processing the case, bringing it to the best closure possible.
And there's no little things for us. We have balance. Don't get me wrong. We have balance. We have to have balance when we have numbers and we have to prioritize.
But it's true, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but this thing of like each step of the way, there's the initial crime, there's the investigation, but along the way, there's all these opportunities to right the wrongs that happened along the way, for the victims, for the people here in the town. And it's nice to hear it described so succinctly.
Thank you. If I can just add, my investigative sergeant, who was working, also involved in this case, called me and said, we let the gentleman know that we recovered some items and he recovered the vehicle. So, and he said he was absolutely amazed. He said, he basically said to me that he was first surprised that the police department, his experience was in the past, he has been a victim and nothing ever happened, and he felt like he was inconveniencing the law enforcement that showed up. He couldn't be happier that we actually appeared to have cared at the scene, but actually did care because we found his stuff, right? And where we found it and how we found it. And he was like, this is incredible. That's the kind of restoration of humanity we want to be able to provide. I can't make him not a victim, but what I can do is restore something within him. That gives what I think is one of the best things that good police officers can provide the community or the individual, hope.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific other than it's, we're a month into the school year, everything's going good in the schools,
We're still in search for special patrol officers. We have 3 open positions. We have one ready to go more sooner than later, a second that is going through the process, and I have a third opening. We will be having one of our SPOs that will be meeting with media in a fairly short order to discuss a policy at ESM in regards to the phones. There are no phones, and it's working out splendidly according to school district, according to our SPO. So he'll be in the news in short order. But it has been good. We have been having to balance to be able to work, and we worked well with the FM district so that we can provide at least some assistance for some of these vacancies. So we know they want them full all the time, which is truly a testament to how the relationship has grown. From nothing to, let's dip a toe in the water to, we really enjoy our relationships with our SPOs or our police officers in our school. So it has been going well, and always the growing pains of coming back into school. We get a significant number of cases coming out of school.
I have a question. The west end of Village of Manlius, Troop K and West Seneca, at the traffic light before the plaza, by the car wash over the bridge. When a car wants to turn left, and lots of cars turn left in the morning, people go out and around. In other words, they're turning left here. So people go out and around. And if someone is walking across that bridge, we're supposed to walk against traffic, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
no-go.
it's a safety issue. And
Safety.
once one car does it, all the cars behind them do it.
Yeah.
And I will say I've never done it. I'm dead set against it. And I think it's a safety issue. I'm just wondering if it's the law. If there is a white line, are you allowed to
You
go?
can move from the lane unsafely. Can you move directly around that? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that. It's been a while since I dealt with that.
And there's no sidewalk there. People have to be on the road when they're walking into the village.
What we know is that vehicles have to give right away to pedestrians regardless. So if the pedestrian is there, they can't move. If they can see their way clear, is it a ticketable offense? If someone stopped from turning left in order to clear, I don't know. But I can find out and let you know.
We've been very lucky in the village. Nobody's gotten hit, but summertime when people are walking.
Yeah.
You're describing literally that's my house.
Right there.
I'm gonna die getting the mail. That's
Yep.
literally my issue, Tom.
I didn't know that was your
That's-
house.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that problem.
Sure.
I will say, to, get a little positive news in here that there's been, enforcement there
Yeah.
frequently over the last couple of weeks.
Super.
Yeah, including right in front of my house for a few hours on a Friday. It was very refreshing. But yeah, you described the problem quite literally. I think that it's more pronounced in the mornings when people are getting to work or commuter times, both directions. But you're right, if somebody wants to go into the dollar store and you gotta wait for them to make that left. you better not be walking down the road at that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I will take that forward. I'll get you your answer, but in the meantime, I'll just push some enforcement out
And even just social media saying, hey, remember, if you are going to safely go around a car that's turning left, understand that there could be pedestrians walking towards you. That's just a reminder. The reminders are wonderful. And, 18 years in our spot, I've never learned of someone getting hit, a pedestrian getting hit. But just that reminder that, hey, pedestrians have the right of way is helpful. Thank you.
guess we kind of skipped around the agenda a little privilege of the floor there, but there was a little bit of correspondence. I want to just share it with this committee, but it's actually on the town board agenda for tonight. So the Lakeview Road off Woodchuck Road, we got a real slew of concerns from them, but it's already on the agenda for tonight, at the town board meeting. But it was interesting, specifically complaints about delivery trucks, Amazon trucks, zipping up and down this very short dead end residential street.
Can I comment on that?
Please.
It was brought to my attention from Carrie, thank you. Last week, when it was brought to my attention, I assigned our traffic unit, they went out and they put like one of those undercover speed spotters. So it's taking everybody's speed and counting all the cars. I didn't want to have them pull it and dump the info because it's only been 4, 5, 6 days. I'd like it to be up there for a couple of weeks. So we're dealing with delivery vehicles. We'll get an eyes on as to the, what the speeds are when it's happening. So that we can then move that into an education phase or an enforcement phase. We'll take a look at what the analysis is.
So that was it. There's nothing else from the committee members. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Do we have our next meeting?
I'll second that motion.
We do have a December meeting scheduled. I'm not sure the precise date.
It will be,
17th.
Thanks, Mike.
well, yeah, we'll have to push it up to the 17th. It would typically be obviously the 24th, but
We're not gonna.
yeah,
17th.
we'll push it up to the 17th.
All right, all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.